In a land far away, rich with the colors and sounds of nature, lived a clever tortoise named Timmy. Timmy wasn't just any tortoise. He was known throughout his village for his cunning and intelligent character. He loved to learn new things and often eavesdropped on the elder stories, trying to gather as much knowledge as he could. One sunny afternoon, Timmy decided to take a walk through the dense green forest that bordered his village. The air was filled with the songs of birds and the rustle of leaves as he wandered deeper into the woods. As he walked, his sharp eyes caught a glimpse of something unusual sticking out of the ground. Curious, Timmy dug around it and soon uncovered a large ancient pot. It was beautifully decorated with intricate patterns and symbols. Timmy stared at the pot, his heart pounding with excitement. He could feel something special about it. Carefully, he lifted the lid and peered inside. To his amazement, the pot was filled with scrolls and artifacts, each one shimmering with a strange magical light. "This must be the pot of wisdom," Timmy whispered to himself, hardly believing his luck. "It contains all the knowledge of the world." A wicked smile spread across Timmy's face as he thought of all the possibilities. If he could keep all this wisdom to himself, he would become the smartest and the most powerful creature in the land. No one would be able to outsmart him, and he could command respect from everyone. With this thought in mind, Timmy decided to take the pot back to his home. It was heavy, and he struggled as he carried it through the forest. But Timmy was determined. Panting and sweating, he finally reached a small hut at the edge of the village. Once home, Timmy placed the pot of wisdom in a hidden corner of his hut, covering it with a cloth to keep it safe. But he wasn't satisfied with just having the pot. He wanted to fill it with even more wisdom. So Timmy began to sneak around the village, gathering knowledge from every source he could find. He listened to the elder stories, paying close attention to their words. He watched the village healer, learning about herbs and potions. He even followed the hunters, observing their skills and strategies. Whenever he learned something new, Timmy would write it down on a scroll and place it in the pot. Day by day, the pot grew heavier with the weight of all the wisdom it contained. Timmy felt a sense of pride as he looked at it, knowing that he was becoming more knowledgeable with each passing day. However, he also knew that he needed to keep the pot safe from prying eyes. He couldn't risk anyone finding it and taking the wisdom for themselves. Timmy thought long and hard about where he could hide the pot. He needed a place that was out of reach for everyone else. Then an idea struck him. He would hide the pot at the top of the tallest tree in the forest. No one would think to look there, and even if they did, they wouldn't be able to reach it. The next morning, Timmy set off for the forest. With the heavy pot strapped to his back, he trudged through the dense foliage, determined to reach the tallest tree. Finally, he stood before the massive tree, its branches reaching high into the forest. Timmy took a deep breath and began to climb. The pot was heavy and cumbersome, and he struggled to keep his grip on the rough bark. Several times, he nearly lost his balance, but each time, he managed to hold on. Slowly but surely, he made his way up into the tree. As Timmy was climbing, a young boy named Kelechi from the village was playing nearby. Kelechi was known for his curiosity and sharp mind. He loved exploring the forest and learning about plants and animals that lived there. When he saw Timmy struggling to climb the tree with the pot on his back, he couldn't help but watch with interest. Kelechi noticed how the pot kept slipping and causing Timmy to lose his balance. After observing for a while, he decided to approach the tortoise. "Hello, Timmy," Kelechi called out, waving his hand. Why are you climbing the tree without every pot on your back? Timmy, startled by the boy's sudden appearance, almost lost his grip. He glanced down and saw Kelechi standing at the base of the tree, looking up at him with curious eyes. Um, um, just trying to find a safe place for this pot, Timmy replied, trying to sound casual. Kelechi tilted his head, thinking for a moment. Why don't you tie the pot to your chest instead of your back? It will make it easier to climb that way. Timmy paused, considering the boy's suggestion. It was a simple idea, but it made a lot of sense. He carefully climbed back down and untied the pot from his back. With Kelechi's help, he secured the pot to his chest, making sure it was tightly fastened. Thank you, Kelechi, Timmy said, feeling a bit embarrassed that he hadn't thought of such a simple solution himself. With the pot now tied to his chest, Timmy began to climb the tree again. This time, it was much easier. He moved quickly and steadily, reaching the top without much trouble. Once he was at the top, he found a sturdy branch and carefully placed the pot in a secure spot. Climbing back down, Timmy felt a mix of relief and gratitude towards Kelechi. The young boy had given him a piece of advice that made his task so much easier. As he reached the ground, Kelechi smiled at him. See, it wasn't so hard after all, Kelechi said with a grin. Timmy nodded, feeling a strange sensation in his chest. Despite all his efforts to gather and hide the wisdom, he had overlooked a simple yet profound piece of advice from a young boy. As he thought about it, he began to realize something important. All this time, he had been focused on holding the wisdom for himself, believing that it would make him powerful and respected. But in reality, true wisdom wasn't about keeping knowledge to oneself. It was about sharing it and helping others. Timmy looked at Kelechi, who was still smiling at him, and felt a sense of gratitude. The boy had taught him an invaluable lesson without even realizing it. You know, Kelechi, Timmy said thoughtfully, I've been trying to keep all the wisdom in that pot for myself, thinking it will make me the smartest and the most powerful. But you have showed me that true wisdom is about sharing what we know and helping others. Kelechi's eyes widened in surprise. Really? I was just trying to help you climb the tree. Timmy chuckled. Sometimes the simplest actions can teach us the greatest lessons. Determined to do the right thing, Timmy decided to share the wisdom with the entire village. He knew it wouldn't be easy, but he was ready to make amends for his selfishness. The next morning, Timmy climbed back up the tall tree and retrieved the pot of wisdom. With the pot in his hands, he walked to the center of the village and called for everyone to gather. The villagers, curious about what Timmy had to say, assembled around him. My friends, Timmy began, I have a confession to make. I found this pot of wisdom in the forest and tried to keep all the knowledge for myself. But I realized that true wisdom is not in hoarding knowledge, but in sharing it with others. The villagers listened intently as Timmy continued. From today onward, I want to share the wisdom in this pot with all of you. Together, we can learn and grow and our village will thrive. The villagers were amazed by Timmy's words. They had always known him to be clever, but now they saw a new side of him, one that was kind and generous. They gathered around as Timmy opened the pot and began to share the wisdom it contained. Timmy told stories of the past, taught valuable lessons, and shared secrets that could help the villagers in their daily lives. The people listened with rapt attention, eager to learn from the pot of wisdom. As days turned into weeks, the village began to change. The knowledge Timmy shared brought new skills and understanding to the people. The farmers learned better ways to grow their crops. The hunters discovered more effective techniques, and the healers found new remedies for ailments. The village thrived like never before, and the villagers grew closer as they shared their newfound knowledge with one another. They respected Timmy, not just for his cleverness, but for his willingness to share and help others. One evening, as the sun set over the village, Timmy sat under the baobab tree with Kelechi by his side. They watched the children playing and the adults chatting happily. "I'm proud of you, Timmy," Kelechi said with a smile. "You did the right thing." Timmy nodded, feeling a deep sense of contentment. "Thank you, Kelechi. If it weren't for your simple advice, I might never have realized the true meaning of wisdom." Kelechi grinned. Sometimes the smallest voices can teach us the biggest lessons. And so Timmy the tortoise learned an important lesson. True wisdom lies not in keeping knowledge to oneself, but in sharing and helping others with it. Thank you so much for listening and watching to this stage. Please like, comment, and subscribe.